morning session, it will be started by me in general. Okay, so it will be a general briefing. Before we will have a breakout session, we will break down the group into coursework and also mixed mode. So there will not be automatic breakout and so on. So Dr. Hafiz, who will be joining us, he's the coordinator for coursework. He will be giving you the link to break out into coursework program. And for research, Dr. Malik will just remain here. So for those students who are research, just remain in this current link. And for coursework, Dr. Hafiz will actually provide one more link so that you can join for coursework briefing later on. Okay. So I think with that general perspective or context given, we can just start our session for this morning. But before I go on, how is everyone? So let me just see the names here first before we go on. We have quite a number here. I believe we have all the quite a few international students here. Just now, I've seen some from Indonesia, from China just now. So, and for this semester, we have students from South Korea as well, and we have students from US as well. So other than that, we have students from Somalia. So we have quite a number of different nationalities of international students as well with us for this semester. Okay, so with that, let me just start my slide. I hope everyone is well. You're well?
Yes, bro.
Excited for the new semester. So I think I've placed a remark or message in one of the group, I think research group, saying that enjoy the last moments of your freedom. It wouldn't be that bad. I mean, research is about time management. Okay, so consistency, time management. It's not that if you are drowned with that, you'll be drowning with that, and so on. So it's part and parcel of studying as well as managing your time. So it gives you a new context of basically managing your time, managing your time with family, time with your what do you call your research and so on. Okay, anyhow, right. So let's
Yeah.
move on to my
Wait, dah
briefing.
tunggu si. Bagi duduk je lah. Kau kat luar.
Okay, so let's move on for this morning session. Okay, so I will just quickly go through. So my name is Sheila. Okay, so Sheila Pelayudam. I'm currently the head of postgraduate. Someone, hold on, let me just if I can mute.
Oh.
Muhammad, please silent.
Okay. Okay, so me myself, my name is Sheila Pelayudam, and I'm currently the head of postgraduate studies for College of Engineering. Originally, I'm from the School of Civil Engineering, and the breakout session later will be divided into two. Okay, so for coursework mixed mode student, you should enter the session by Dr. Muhammad Hafiz Muhammad Noor. So he's the coordinator for coursework mixed mode program of the College of Engineering. And if you're a research student, okay, so your coordinator would be Dr. Abdul Malik Abdul Wahab, who is the coordinator for research program, whether it is master's by research or PhD. So long it's by research, so you will remain in this current room. Okay. All right. So I've set up this earlier. Okay. So just to give you an idea, so if some of you, I think a lot of you actually originate from industry. So I'll give you an idea of what actually the postgrad study is about. So in UiTM, the kind of like a mother, the origin, or basically the main body who is actually an taking care of postgraduate will be IPSIS, Institute of Postgraduate Studies, UiTM. And at each faculty or each colleges, we would have postgraduate officers. Okay, so the postgraduate office at the faculty or at the college is where it will be the heart of the operation. Okay, so we manage the student. So IPSIS, they themselves, they set out the policy, they set out the guideline whereby all the faculties or the colleges would need to address, or basically would need to abide to the rules regulations set by IPSIS. And IPSIS guideline comes from MQA. So all of our program are being accredited. And once we are accredited, we need to abide to certain rules regulations set by the accreditation body MQA. So at the College of Engineering, if you have graduated prior to 2021, you have graduated 2017, 2016 and 17, so on. You would have graduated from different schools. Hold on, Ramzi. Mr. Ramzi, could you please off your mic?
Okay, Doctor.
All right. Okay. So prior to 2021, you would have graduated from different faculties. We call it faculty. And after March 2021, formally we are known as College of Engineering. So we have been restructured, combined together, and the faculties are basically now being known as school. Okay. For postgraduate, basically they have consolidated all the different officers for each of the faculty, and they created one entity called the Postgraduate Office of the Postgraduate Studies of College of Engineering. So all of you here, you might come from either civil, mechanical, chemical, or electrical. Okay, and importantly, I would like to emphasize, especially for research student, when you are writing a paper, coursework students, you would also be able to write papers, especially from your master's project, if you have the time. So these are the affiliation that we use, okay? Or as well as you being a student, okay? So this will be affiliation of you as a student of College of Engineering, UiTM. So in English, you would have your first name, you have your last name, and which school you are from. So whether you're from the School of Civil, Chemical Engineering, College of Engineering, UiTM, Shalam, Selangor, Malaysia. Unless you are registered at the campus, okay, so Penang, Permatang Power, then you'll be different. But if you're registered in Shalam, then this will be the affiliation associated with you as a student. Okay, in Malay will be this Pengajian Kejuruteraan, College Pengajian Kejuruteraan. Okay, so this will be affiliation of you as a student. Okay, importantly here about the postgraduate team, we have the head of the college. Okay, so Penolong Naib Chancellor or Assistant Vice Chancellor, Prof. Hamida. And postgraduate studies is basically parked right under the Dean of Academic and International Affairs. Okay, so Professor Solihuddin Shuib. And then it is headed by the head of postgraduate studies. And of course, the head of postgraduate studies basically is assisted by two coordinators I've mentioned, the coordinator for research and the coordinator for coursework. And the coordinator for research would have the leader of program. Okay, so we have Dr. Habibah, who is in charge of the promotion and student development. So any training, any online webinar, and if you require any for example, the other day, the students have requested for Python training, so we have done that. So Excel, for example, because you can do quite a lot with Excel. So if you need additional training or certain skills that is being required, so usually Dr. Habibah will pass on this questionnaire for the students to encourage you to actually let us know what kind of training do you require. Okay, so sometimes some of you just require this kind of training on referencing. Okay, so whether to use Mendeley or EndNote. So usually early of the year, we would actually pass you the form so that you let us know what training do you or what skills do you require, and we'll get the expert in that to actually come and give a talk. Okay, so the last Python, it was a hands-on training. Okay, so Dr. Habibah is in charge of that. Dr. Siti Hamidah Abdul Rahman is basically the program leader for master's research. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you are master's research from civil, from chemical, electrical, mechanical. If you have any question about master's research, you can go, what do you call? You can go to Dr. Siti Hamidah. And for PhD program, it is under Dr. Muhammad Shafiq Hazwan. Okay, so these are the names that you need to know. And basically, all of them are in the group that you are actually in. Okay, so I have given you the main groups. Okay, so for research, Telegram is the main communication platform that we have. Okay, so and you have dedicated research group for each school as well. Okay, so you would have two groups for you to join. And for new student, obviously you have one isolated group. So before you grow on to become a senior. Okay, so you have just to guide you for the first semester. So all the first semester student, whether you are coursework or research, you would have one main group just to groom you or just to get you settled down in UiTM. And then once you enter the second semester, becoming a senior, you could just leave the first group, or basically the starter group that we have actually created. Okay. And for coursework mixed mode program, basically we have Dr. Muhammad Hafiz Muhammad Noor. Okay, so currently for a civil, basically Dr. Nurul Ilma, but however, starting 1st October, for civil, you would have 6 program leader. So if those of you who are from civil, whether you're from 701 structure, 702 geotechnical, the 6th program, so you would have dedicated program leader, and they will be introduced in your group. Okay, so currently it's Dr. Nurul Elma, but starting 1st October, it will be the 6 different program leader. Okay, so they will be introduced in your group. For 704 engineering management, your program leader will be Dr. Helmi Rashid. For EE 700, telecommunication and information engineering, your program leader will be Dr. Nani Fazlina. So I believe you should have entered all the groups that I have given in your main group. Okay, so you would have entered your dedicated program. So the main group consolidates or basically consists of all pengajian or all the schools, but you need to enter the WhatsApp group for each of your program. Okay, so that you would have like straightforward information, direct information on your dedicated program. And for Dr. Afzan is basically the program leader for EM 703. Okay, and starting 1st October, we have the program leader for 2 new programs. Okay, so I did not place it here. So starting 1st October, we would have a program leader for Master's Science in Aviation Engineering and Management, Dr. Zuriati, and also Master Science in Robotic Engineering. Okay, so which is Dr. Sukarnur. So we would have additional from here, but I will place them in the group because their appointment starts from 1st October. Okay, so from there onwards, you will be passed on to your program leader, dedicated program leaders. Okay, so this will be the academic person in charge. So for the administrative side, okay, so you need to know by heart would be Mr. Muhammad Aiman Abu Hassan. Okay, so he's the key person on academic affairs. Okay, so basically he's the assistant registrar for postgraduate studies. So if you have any issues on academic matters, which you cannot get to the coordinator and so on, so you can get to the assistant registrar. Okay, so I think Mr. Aiman is also here. Okay, so the key person will be assistant registrar. And administrative side, he's basically governing for coursework program and research program. So for research program, you have the executive officer Puan Mardiana, supported by the senior clerk Puan Ezrin. And for coursework program, the executive officer will be Puan Fazni, supported by Puan Imania and also Puan Adiba as the senior clerk. Okay, so in general, in office, these are the persons that you need to know. And you can go specific knowing the program leader for each of your program. Okay, so they should be able to answer. If they couldn't, then you can get to me. So I'll try my level best to answer your queries. Okay, so this is our office. Okay, so if you need to visit us physically, we are located at UiTM campus, Shalam. Okay, at level 9, Tower 1. Okay, so it is just on the left-hand side once you leave the lift. So, okay, so just to give you an idea as well, for coursework program, we have quite extensive. Okay, so we have 12 coursework program, including one mixed mode. Okay, so well, mixed mode is basically, we are talking about 60-40, more or less 65-60, 60-40 ratio, 60% of research, 40% of coursework. Okay, but for the others, when we are talking about coursework, the main component will be your coursework. 3/4 of your credit hours will be coursework, whereby you will go for classes, you conduct the assignment, complete the test, you should be fine. Okay, so that will be coursework. And the research component for coursework programs are only 1/4. Okay, so if you have 40 credit hours, your research component will be 10 credit hours. I need to highlight that sometimes coursework students, they kind of neglect the research component, which I think you will be ashamed. Okay, so you have completed, we have students completing 30 credit hours coursework, coming into classes, going for tests, conducting the assignment, but they did not complete the last 10 hours of research. So, and you will not get your scroll. Okay, so please, this is basically a briefing for new student. I would really want to emphasize coursework student. Please make sure that you complete the 40 hours. You can enter classes. Okay, so you successfully enter the classes, pass all the courses. You will be shame or it will be such a waste if you do not complete the last 10 credit hours of your project. Okay, so with proper time management, with proper commitment, it's just one semester, you should be able to complete the project. Okay, so if you have any constraint and so on, get to us so that we can try to sort it out for you. Okay, so we do have students who actually completed 30 hours, you have paid that much, left 10 credits that you did not complete. It will be such a waste. Okay, so please bear that in mind and make sure that you enter with a proper notion. Okay, so there is a motivation for you to actually enter the postgrad studies. You complete it as you have actually what they call aim for. So do not leave halfway, because it will leave it will leave this icky feeling at the end of the day. So this is one thing that I usually mention to the new students. You come in, you go out with the aim that you have, addressing the aim that you have actually set for yourself. Okay, so I believe for coursework student, you might be in one of this program. Okay, so for civil engineer program, you will have program leader for each of the program. Okay, so whether it's structure, geotechnical, water resource, environment, and so on. I've introduced them in the new students group. Okay, but eventually I'll still introduce them in the other groups and so on. So you get to know your program leader. And for mixed mode, basically is a mixed mode program under mechanical. Only mechanical is having a mixed mode program. Engineer management is executive program. Okay, so we have robotics for this semester. We do not have manufacturing. Okay, and we have aviation for this semester as well. And for electrical, currently there's one coursework program. Okay, so in total for coursework student, you should be registered either in one of this program. Okay, so currently the enrollment for postgrad coursework mixed more or less is around 350 students. I would emphasize, okay, so you would need to read the academic rules and regulation. Okay, so at the end of this session, or if we couldn't make it at the end of this session, we will provide it in your group, a drive that actually contains my slide, Dr. Hafiz and Dr. Malik's slide, as well as the information on all of this. Okay, so as I've mentioned, the policy guideline is set by IPSIS, okay, so Institute of Postgraduate Studies, UiTM, and you can easily download this academic regulation. Okay, so please read through this because this sets as like a basis or fundamental element for you to actually navigate your studies. Okay, so you would know what will be the passing mark. Okay, so for coursework, the passing mark is 65 and above. Okay, so if you are still a undergraduate, you can still recall that your passing mark was 50. But for postgraduate, the passing mark is 65. Okay, so please go through this. It is it's a very thin book actually, so you have an idea what are the and once you read this, you'll be able to see how do you associate yourself being active student, non-active student, and so on. What are the appeal that you can make, and what are the awards that you are be able to attain, and so on. Okay, so this will be the rules. Okay, so quickly going on with the common issues among coursework student. Okay, so for coursework student, this one I mentioned, not completing the master's project. This is compulsory. It is a must. It only takes you a quarter of your total study. Okay, so for civil, for example, it is only 10 out of 40 credits, but it is your work. Okay, so it is a research work. So if you are able to just commit yourself and conduct all the literature, go through the process, collect the primary data or secondary data, you should be fine. Okay, so but we have issues with students not completing this, especially students who are working. But I believe your supervisors will be able to guide you through the project using your workplace data, or basically a data which is easily accessible by you in your working environment. Okay, so you don't need to create a new data and so on. So be smart about selecting the project's title and so on. Okay. Lengkap or basically incomplete. So tak lengkap is in Malay. Is English is basically called incomplete. You can actually apply incomplete of your master's project once throughout the study. Meaning to say, for example, if I'm taking master's project this semester, but until week 14, I realized that I won't be able to complete. Okay, so potentially it will be disastrous and I will fail the subject. So I can be given incomplete for one semester, but I cannot do it for the next semester. So the next semester, if I have not complete, then I'll be given fail. And once you fail a master's project, it will bring down your CGPA drastically, okay, because it is 10 credit hours. So you can imagine if you already sustain 3.5 CGPA, and once you get 2.5 with 10 credit hours, it will totally bring down your total CGPA. So just be careful with the master's project. Okay, and another issue I need to highlight, sometimes students did not register for courses. You must register for your courses. So your courses, it is not automated in the system. So once you go into the Dr. Hafiz session, so Dr. Hafiz will walk you through how to register your courses. Your courses could be registered from your iStudent portal. So it is there. You just need to register, pick the courses based on the schedule shared with you. So there are study plans which will be given before either in the offer letter and so on. Do not follow that because we tally the courses or we tally the schedule based on different semesters and so on. So based on the resource we have at hand as well. Okay, so please check the schedule given to you in the group. Okay, so make sure you register for courses. If you don't register for courses, at the end, once you have gone through the classes, at the end of the semester, you get nothing Because you did not register. So how? All right. So any classes that you intend to go for, you need to register and it will appear in the U Future or the attendance of the lecturer. Okay. So U Future is a system where you could download your lecture notes, you could place in your attendance. So slowly you get to know the different systems that we use to register your attendance and so on. Okay. And if you have any changes in your courses, let's say you have picked a certain elective and at one point you do not want to continue with that elective. So after 2-3 weeks, you think that it is not suitable to you, you can drop it. Okay, but make sure follow the timeline. I'll show you later. Basically, we have schedule for all of the adding the courses, registration, dropping the courses. There are timelines to that. So please make sure that you are well aware of the academic calendar and the dates. Okay, so and missing in action. Okay, so we do have students coming back to us after, I don't know, it could go to extent of almost 8-9 years missing in action. Okay, meaning to say that most of the students who come back to us after 5 years, 6 years, just that they have completed all the coursework except for master's project. It's impossible for us to actually bring that appeal into the meeting because queries will be quite a lot. Because over a few years, there would be changes to the curriculum structure, there would have been changes to the subject courses. It's quite difficult to map it back apple to an apple. Okay, so please do not go missing in action and come back to us after a few years. So I hope none of you would actually do this. Okay, so you've registered. Please try your level best to actually complete it. If you have issue or if you have family problem, if you have financial problem, there are room for you to actually take leave. Okay, so for medical problem, let's say this semester you have registered, but unfortunately in the middle road, there are, so certain medical condition. You can apply for a special leave. Okay, so special leave could be applied from your iStudent portal itself. All right, so you just need to upload the medical report and you are applying leave for the semester. So the whole semester you could be on leave and there will be no fees charged. Okay, so you'll be only 50 ringgit activation fees. Another context, if you are actually having financial issues or family problems, so which are apart from medical issue, you can apply for deferment of the semester. Okay, so deferment of the semester could be applied through form from IPSI's website. I'll show you at the end form from where you can actually apply for. So for master student, okay, so coursework basically consists of only master. You can apply up to twice special leave, and you can apply up to twice deferment of semester. Okay, so those are the room that allows you to not just drop off. Basically, you are still in the system, except that you will be on leave throughout one semester, and the fees will not be charged for the missing semester. Okay. All right, so moving on to the research program. Okay, so we have 8 programs altogether, and each of the school would have 2 dedicated programs. One will be Masters by Research, one will be PhD. Okay, so we would have 2 for the 4 schools that we have. And these are the rules for the Masters by Research and also PhD. I will just quickly walk through. Okay, so and the rules and regulation for research would differ from the coursework. Okay, so research and coursework, 2 different nature by itself. Okay, so one is structured, one more is more subjective in nature, especially research, because you will be paving the way of your study. Okay, so 2 different nature of academic positioning here. Okay, so you can download it from this link given. Okay, so previously as coursework, you can download from the link. The latest academic regulation is basically the amendment of 2022, right? So, and as I've mentioned, it is governed by IPSIS and all regulations were done by them. Okay, so we need to adhere to whatever regulation given so that our program stays accredited as it is. Right. So for Masters by Research, for those of you who are taking Masters by Research, your minimum duration will be 2 semesters, maximum 8 semesters. Okay, so 2 semesters consists of 1 year. Okay, so 1 year would have 2 semesters, so 4 years would have 8 semesters. And for Masters by Research, to graduate on time, basically it will be 2 years. Okay, so from the date of registration till Senate. So for those of you who are aiming to actually graduate on time, you should be able to submit your thesis by the 3rd semester. Okay, and your 4th semester will be the semester where you would actually make the correction post Viva, formatting and Viva as well. Okay, so this is the one I've mentioned earlier on deferment as well. So coursework or research, if you are under a master's program, it is up to 2 times. And for special leave as well, whether your coursework or whether your research, if you are a master student, you can apply it up to 2 times as well. Okay, and one more thing I need to highlight, if you are masters by research, but if you're intending to go for a PhD, okay, so meaning to say that your final aim of an education for yourself will be a PhD, you can actually opt to convert your masters to a PhD. Okay, so but that should be done within 12 months from your master's registration. So you would need to go for DRP, Defense Research Proposal, within 6 months. And once the result from your research proposal is good, okay, so meaning to say minimal correction and so on, you should be able to convert to a PhD, given that you have passed the, what do you call, mini presentation. Okay, so you would have panel from internal, external to evaluate your proposal is good enough for a PhD, you will be converted. Okay, so to a PhD. Okay, so other regulations, other rules and responsibility and processes, I suppose Dr. Malik would give you a thorough insight into that. Okay, so and besides that, you can actually go through these academic rules and regulations. So please go through this to ensure that you understand the processes, you know what needs to be done and so on. Okay, so similar for PhD. Okay, so except the timeline will be different. So for PhD, the minimum of 5 semesters, maximum of 14 semesters. So please do not go there. Okay, so it's pretty long for a study period. Okay, so please do not go there. And deferment up to four times. Okay, so the difference between PhD and also masters by research, obviously the depth, the breadth will be different. Okay, so going from master's to a PhD, it would be deeper and broader, and the novelty is very much required to be highlighted. Okay, but in regards to operation, the difference will be from the duration, from the graduate of time period, deferment. Okay, for PhDs up to 4 years. And the defense research proposal, this will be your first major milestone. Okay, so defense research proposal within 12 months. And the requirement for publication. Okay, so obviously master research and PhD, the process is the same. Okay, so you will go through the same process, which is very different from coursework. Okay, so coursework and research, those are two different nature of studying. Okay, so one is structured, one more is non-structured, and you are really, it would be a close cooperation or basically teamwork with your supervisor, the supervisory team. Okay, so for research. For coursework, you will jump from one course to another. So every course would have one lecturer or two lecturers. So different in nature. So I would suggest, or I would strongly advise you to actually go through the academic regulation so that you're well versed on the process, regulations, procedures, and so on. Okay, so for College of Engineering, our dominants are basically for research program. Okay, so Masters by Research around 380 plus, PhD 400 plus, so it comes to around 800 plus students for research program. So we are basically dominated by research students. Okay, so just to give you a brief idea of what would be the common issues that we observe from research students. So I need to highlight this so that the same mistake would not be repeated, okay, by you. So at least you have an idea that, okay, potentially this would happen, and refrain yourself from doing that. Okay, so first thing is late appointment by of supervisor. I believe you're in the first semester, get your supervisor appointment by the first semester. Okay, so Dr. Malik would brief you on the process, what are the forms to be filled, or which system, UP track system that you need to fill the supervision. So please, if you're a research student, attend the talk by Dr. Malik so that you understand the process of appointing a supervisor. Well, the appointment of supervisor for research student is different from coursework, because coursework is pretty straightforward. There are not much formalities to the appointment of supervisor for coursework. For research is different. The very reason is because all the appointment of the supervisor, it will be confirmed at a meeting at the university level. For coursework, no. For research, we need to bring the name of the supervisor, proposed supervisor, into 2 meetings at the college level and also 1 meeting at the university level. So any changes, any addition, it would be quite highly scrutinized. The reason you would ask me why? Basically, the appointment of research supervisor, it gives mileage to the supervisor itself, especially when the supervisor is going for what do we call it, penaikan pangkat, let's say from a senior lecturer to an associate professor, or from an promotion, thank you, or from associate professor to a professor. Okay, so one of the compulsory requirement is basically in graduating research student. So actually it's not easy, or basically it's not that easy to graduate a research student. So that's why I always highlight this. A supervisor and a student, for research student, it is a win-win situation for both. There would not be any lose-win situation. It is a win-win situation because you graduate, your supervisor at the same time would have the mileage or would have the criteria ticked, requirement ticked for a promotion. So it should be a win-win symbiotic relationship. It shouldn't be one person winning, one person losing. It's not a good relationship. So for research, you need to make that clear. Okay, so that's why the supervisor appointment is very important, and it goes through quite a tedious process just because it is valuable to the point of getting a promotion, as well as to ensure that the student is having the right supervisor to be the guiding the student. Okay, so go for Dr. Malik's talk, because he will be talking through with you about the process and procedures in submitting the appointment. Do that by the first semester itself. Okay, do not take long. We have meetings every month, but try to do it as soon as possible so that you give the honor to the supervisor to be the supervisor. Okay, so sometimes students keep it to the end of the semester, but the supervisor has been doing the job, you see. So do that earlier so that they're happy, get appointed earlier, and the work will progress accordingly. Okay, and another thing, for research student, is compulsory. It's compulsory for you to submit your research progress report at the end of every semester. Usually a month before the deadline, we would provide you the means of submitting the progress report. So please make sure, if you're dormant, it doesn't matter in the Telegram or WhatsApp group. It doesn't matter if you're dormant, but make sure you read the messages. So sometimes we have important information passed through that. Okay. Missing in action, late submission of various forms. Okay, so please make sure you adhere to the academic calendar. Okay, so fail to register. As a research student, you also must register every semester. Okay, it is not automated. It is not that you enter the next semester and then it is automatically registered. No, there would be an action from you. You need to go on to the student portal and register yourself every semester until you complete. Okay, and the last one, conflict with student, conflict with supervisor. If you have any conflict with supervisor, you don't feel good about it, come to us so that we can sort it out for you. Okay, so sometimes if you require changes to the supervisor, we'll be able to do it. Okay, so please make sure that you do not keep it to the end of the semester and so on. Battery is low. Okay, hopefully I can finish my slides before the battery is off. Okay, so these are the academic regulation. We have currently 97 international students. Okay, so quickly I go on to the postgraduate students. Okay, so please be independent. Okay, so right is very important. And one thing that you need to take away from your postgraduate studies is critical thinking and lifelong learning. Okay, so those are the two skills that I think it is important that you actually attain that kind of skill and leave the postgraduate studies successfully. Do not plagiarize. Okay, so I will quickly just pass through this. These are some tips that might be able to support you in your postgraduate studies. Okay, I've provided the link as well where to download the program, download the form. All the forms are from the IPSIS website. Okay, so you just go on to the link and any form, any application form, any appeal form, it is there and is used throughout UiTM. So the form does not differ. Okay. We also have postgraduate association. Okay, so this is the postgraduate association. Please join us. Okay. We conduct training annual basis. Okay, so we have in October, November, December. Okay, so usually we'll open the or we'll provide the poster or open registration for all those trainings in the group. Okay, so make sure that you join the Telegram and the dedicated WhatsApp group. It's very important. Okay, so these are some of our achievements. Students who have got graduated on time and APC. And importantly, we have our website. We also have, I think the one active will be Facebook. Okay, so you can just like us on our Facebook and briefing as such as today or previous briefing, you can actually, we upload it on the YouTube and you can actually get it on the YouTube as well. Okay. All right, so this is a promotional kit that we have for sharing. Okay, so please share among your colleagues who might be interested in going for the postgrad studies at College of Engineering. Okay, so we have all the flyers, all the brochures, briefing slides there. So I think it is sufficient, okay, so to get to know a certain program, what are the fees, what are the requirements. So if there are any colleagues of yours who might be interested, you may share them the promotional kit link. These are the important points or important dates that you need to abide. Okay, so the dates that I mentioned for new registration, coursework student until 29 September. But there are certain cases, especially international student with visa issues and so on. Get to me, we will sort it out so that you can actually smooth in with the classes for the October semester. Okay, but for local student, I don't think you will have an issue. But international students, if you have issue on visa delay and so on, get to us so that we can sort that out for you. So for coursework 29, for research is 6 January. But I will advise you not to go so long. Okay, so you'll be wasting the fees. You still pay the same fees, but delaying the registration would reduce your time that you can utilize the university facilities. Okay, right. So research student as well, you need to register. I've mentioned research, coursework student, returning student will be students second semester and above. Okay, so these are the dates. So the dates vary from the first new student. Okay, so please take note of the date. The last date for tuition fees, 23rd November. And if you intend to apply for deferment, okay, so if you intend to pay your fees in staggered form, you need to apply for it. Okay, so apply through the link here, and your payment would be staggered in 3 phases. Okay, so there is a date for that. Okay, so the last date for applying fees deferment, 20th November. So please do everything that which is being required within a deadline to ensure that your everything's smoothen out. And for those of you who are intending to become UPA, okay, so postgraduate teaching assistant, these are the deadline. Okay, so for this semester, the last day is 1st October. So UPA, you are being paid 1 hour 25 ringgit and a maximum of 6 hours of service every week. Okay, so I wouldn't say it's a huge money. It's just a pocket money. Okay, but you'll be assisting lecturers in maybe preparing their slides, tutoring, okay, so lab, for example. So those are the tasks, general tasks of an UPTA. Okay, so 1 hour 25 ringgit up to 6 hours per week in a month. So more or less you should be able to get around 600 ringgit pocket money. Okay, so academic regulation, same, you can get it from the link here. And there are important information that is given in the link here. So whatever link that I provide in the slide, please go and you should be able to get much more better visualization from there. Okay, so these are just part of the academic calendar. And before I end my session, my battery is running low, so I hope I can just charge it fast. So I think motivation is important. Okay, so always remember the reason you are coming for this postgrad studies. So what's the reason? There must be a strong reason for you to actually make the move of applying and basically registering and going for this coming for the postgrad studies. Okay, so please remember the motivation so that it keeps you going to the end. So stopping halfway, it will leave an icky feeling in you. Not now, maybe in future, in 5 years, 10 years to come, you'll look back that, there's something that you have actually intended, started, but you did not just complete it. So please remember that, and make sure that you keep going until you get achieve your goal. Okay, so we have emails. Okay, so for admission purposes, the submission of document for registration, the email will be this. If you have any inquiries for research program, you have dedicated email for it. And if you have any inquiry, any application, you want to apply for a deferment, then the email for coursework will be this. Okay, so 3 important emails for you to know, and that will be your main means of communication. Okay, besides the number or besides the WhatsApp group as well. And a link for IPSIS website, and also information by IPSIS will be here. So please make sure that you go on to the link, because a lot of information basically nowadays are just being given in the Padlet or on the website and so on. Okay. All right, so I was able to complete before the battery basically ends. Any question from the floor? Let me just quickly go on to the chat box. Okay, I'll just go on to the chat box, and then I'll open the session for Q&A, and then we'll pass on to the breakout session. Okay. All right, from IR Adam, okay, taking master by coursework, 65 is the passing mark for exam. Okay, what's the percent of carrying mark and for the final exam? Okay, Adam, okay, so the carrying mark and the final exam and the test, it will be given by the respective lecturers. So every courses might differ. Some courses would have first test, second test, assignment, individual. Some would have only 1 test. So Adam, you should be able to get that from the first week briefing by the respective lecturers. Okay, every courses might differ, so I wouldn't say that it is 60-40 and so on. Okay, so get that from the lecturer. Odi, the copy of the slide will be shared with all of you through OneDrive. Okay, so Mr. Aiman have actually prepared the drive. So once he actually placed in all the slides, I will share the link in the respective group. So please stay tuned for the link. Okay. Okay, so Dr. Hafiz has actually provided the link for coursework. Okay, so for those of you who are coursework, once we close this session here, please go on to the coursework session. And for research student, please remain here. Dr. Malik will give you a briefing through here. Okay, so the recording will be uploaded on the YouTube, and I will also share the YouTube link later in the respective group. Okay. Part-time student, if I'm not mistaken, it is only for full-time student, unfortunately, Ashraf. Okay, so for Masters by Research and PhD, we need to publish, no, you don't need to publish in a certain quarter, Q1, Q2, no. So the basic requirement is basically publish article. It can be in a journal, it can be in a conference proceeding, but it must be indexed, whether it's in Scopus, WOS, or my site. Okay, so ERA. So ERA normally nowadays we don't, but go for Scopus, WOS, or my site. No specific quarter. So you can either publish in journal or even conference proceeding. Just to safeguard you, go for conference proceeding at the earlier stage, but at the same time, try for journal. Journal takes time, conference proceeding much faster. Okay. When were the result of UPTA for applying? The date was just now there in the poster. I can't recall. It should be within next week, within the early of the semester or the early first week or the second week. Okay. All right, so Hairi, the last one. I've enrolled for environmental. If I want to excel, what are the recommended subjects to take, and should I take from other program as well, such as taking subject from? Oh, okay. Okay, Hyril. I think this one, you might need to ask your program leader. Okay, so for 704 is Dr. Aziana Biha. We will share their details as well, the numbers in the group. You can contact Dr. Aziana Biha or basically Dr. Rabita. So either one of them will be able to assist you to see which courses would be suitable for you. Okay. Okay, so for student identification, temporarily you can use the digital ID until the office of the card. Okay, so the card office actually printed those. Usually they'll print it, but it will take quite a while. So meanwhile, digital ID would be okay. Okay, how to get reduction of tuition fees? Intentional submit, or do we need to submit again? I'm not sure, Ellen, what do you mean by the reduction of tuition fees? Normally you do not have any reduction of tuition fees. The fees is basically same. There are no reduction except for the staff of UiTM. So I'm not sure. So we do not have any reduction for any fees. Okay, so except if you are a staff of UiTM, usually you're given 50% fees reduction. But other than that, no. Okay, so the digital ID, you can get it from the student iPortal, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll get back to you in the group. There's somewhere, I can't recall. I think it's from the student ID. So process of supervisor appointment, Fatin, you may go on to Dr. Malik's briefing. You will get a much more clearer picture on supervisor appointment. So Dr. Malik will walk you through. UiTM review the scholarship age limit. I think the scholarship that you're mentioning is endowment. So unfortunately, it is beyond our control at the college level. It is set by the endowment unit. So we can try to pass it there, but it is beyond our jurisdiction. So we are very much into operating and managing the students. Okay, Thank you, Ahmad Zaki, for sharing the student ID digital form here. So, Hilmi Mukti, I think you should be able to get the digital ID from the one link here shared by Ahmad Zaki. Okay, any question from the floor before I pass it on to Dr. Malik and Dr. Hafiz?